Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. It's Paul Skeens night. Pirates, Cardinals. I'll go through Pirates, Cardinals in this video, but we'll go through every single game on the board on the live show at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Pirates, Cards, let's go.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
So yeah, like I said, Pittsburgh's on the road in St. Louis here. The Cardinals are dogs at home, plus 105, plus 108, plus 110, somewhere in there depending on your sports book. Total sitting down at 7.5. We got Paul Skeens on the mound for the Pirates. Mikey is pitching for the Cards. Miles Michaelis. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. We got a pretty solid lean on the Pirates according to the model. 2.52 to 1.1 through 5 innings. Final score 4.22 to 3.18. So let's take a look at this matchup, and we'll start with the Pirates bats. Not nearly as bad as you'd think. In the last 14 days, they're 24th in WRC+, 21st in OPS, 23rd in WOBA. In the last 7 days, slightly better than that. Against right-handed pitching, again, not as bad as you think. In the last 14 days, 20th, 21st, and 21st. In the last 7 days, 19th, 17th, and 18th. The problem with the Pirates is they never hit on the road. On the season, they're 25th, 25th, and 25th. So one of the worst road lineups in baseball. Hasn't really been improving either. So the Pirates not really hitting on the road. You can see the last 4 righty starters to pitch against the Pirates, they combined for a 4.29 ERA and a 1.29 whip. So they're not crushing righty starters, but they're getting runs across here and there. They're not getting completely blanked. If you look at the game logs, they got to Bailey Ober. Woods Richardson did deal against them, and so did Joe Ryan, but they got to Walker Buehler. They got to Chris Bassett. I mean, Glasnow and Berrios shut them down, but you can see here, I mean, this isn't terrible. They are getting to ready starters a little bit, so it's not completely terrible. Pirates numbers against bullpens also improving. You can see in the last 30 days, 24th, 23rd, and 23rd. In the last 7 days, they've actually been active in the late innings, around average, 16th across the board. And here is Miles Michaelis. Mikey. So Mikey's actually been pitching well. In his last 5 starts, he's got a 3.72 ERA, an even 1 whip, and a 3.88 expected FIP. Those are great numbers for Michaelis, and he's been pitching well at home. His last 2 home starts, 3.27 ERA and 0.82 whip. Good for Mikey, man. He's been pitching. Here's the problem for Michaelis in this spot. Since joining the Cardinals, they just never give him run support. He's just 4-6 against the Pirates as a member of the Cardinals with a 3.16 ERA, but just 4-6, so hasn't gotten a ton of run support. This Pirates team has been able to beat him, even though 4.08 expected FIP, 3.16 ERA, those numbers aren't bad. So Michaelis just hasn't had the best luck against this Pirates team. The current Pittsburgh bats lifetime have 119 career plate appearances against Michaelis. They're hitting 286 with a 740 OPS off him. So they are able to get going against Michaelis. Some bad news for the Pirates bats is Michaelis is not a strikeout guy. And you might be thinking, okay, how is that bad news? Well, the Pirates have actually been much better against strikeout righties, against righties that generate strikeouts, against righties with a strikeout rate above 24%. Pirates are a top 10 lineup this year, but against righties with a strikeout rate below 19%, you could see bottom 10 lineup. So weirdly, that might be a positive for Michaelis that he's a contact pitcher and not a strikeout guy. Good news for the Pirates, though, they are improving against his pitch mix. Throws mostly the slider, the sinker, and the 4-seam fastball. Pittsburgh against those 3 pitches, in the last 30 days, 20th against the slider, but 14th and 10th against the sinker and the 4-seam fastball. So definitely improving. Overall, Michaelis is pretty consistent. I mean, you could pretty much chalk him up for 6 innings, 3 runs in a lot of his starts, and I think that's what the numbers are pointing towards. Pirates should be able to get 2 or 3 off him in 5 or 6 innings, so that's what I'm going to handicap it as. On the other side, we got the St. Louis lineup, and Cards bats have definitely been cooling off a bit. You can see in the last 14 days, 14th, 16th, and 15th. Same thing in the last 7 days. Against righties, definitely cooling off. They were red hot against right-handed pitching about a month ago. Pretty average in the last 14 days, last 7 days. Also, not hitting at home like they were a month ago. In the last 30 days, 7th, 6th, and 6th. Last 14 days, the numbers are significantly lower than that. So the Cardinals bats just cooling off across the board. The last 2 righty starters to pitch against the Cardinals, an even 0 ERA. Didn't let up a single earned run, an 0.97 whip. And if you want to know who they are, you're thinking, oh, Kyle, they might have played they might have seen a couple aces. Now, it was Ryan Feltner and Cal Quantrill. That's who blanked the Cardinals. I mean, 5 1/3 innings, no runs. 5 innings, no runs. So we just saw the Cardinals get blanked by Feltner and Quantrill, the last two righties they've seen. And it actually gets even worse for the Cardinals here because Paul Skeens hasn't really been walking guys. Just a 5.61% walk rate on the season. Cardinals have done much better against righties when they can generate walks. Against righties with a walk rate above 8%, you could see 13th, 8th, and 14th. But against righties with a walk rate below 6%, towards the bottom of the league. Speaking of Paul Skeens, we got to pull up his numbers. And this guy, I mean, this kid's a monster. He's been absolutely excellent. An even 3 ERA, an even 1 whip, a 2.16 expected FIP on the season. He's been absolutely dominant in his 2 road starts. 1.50 ERA and 0.42 whip is just crazy. No one's been able to touch this kid. I will say, hasn't had the toughest competition. I mean, Cubs twice, Giants, Tigers. Then he faced the Dodgers, and the Dodgers were able to touch him up a little bit. I mean, they didn't crush him. 3 earned runs in 5 innings, 6 hits, and a walk. I mean, we did see him look a little bit vulnerable at times, but as a whole, this kid's dominant. Cardinals have been hitting his pitch mix a little bit, though. In the last 30 days, the Cardinals are 11th and 10th against the 4-seam fastball and the slider. 2 pitches that Paul Skeens throws a lot of, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows for Skeens, but as a whole, this kid is not giving me any reason to doubt him. As far as the bullpens, this is where the edge goes to the Cardinals, though. St. Louis bullpen has been much better than the Pirates across the board here. They've also been good on the road, good at home. Pirates bullpen on the road has been better, though, so maybe evens out a little. As far as offenses against bullpens, pretty much dead even. So really not much of an edge in the late innings. Look, I'm not in a position where I'm going to lay juice on the road with the Pirates, but I think the only way to go here would be Pittsburgh, but there's no way I'm going to lay minus 120 with Pittsburgh on the road. No way. Not against the Cardinals. I mean, maybe if they were playing the White Sox or something, the Rockies, but I'm not going to lay juice with the Pirates on the road. So maybe under. Now, you know what? I'll go Pirates first 5 run line or pass, but this is probably going to be a pass for me, leaning towards the Pirates. Like I said earlier, live show, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We'll go through every single game on the board, make our final decisions. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. If you want my top bets or top bets from everyone on the staff here, head over to KyleKirms.com and sign up for Sauce Network Plus. Comes with everyone's top bets, access to the Discord, and you can participate in our weekly betting league if you want to get in on that. $100 a week to the winner every single week. So head over to KyleKirms.com if you're interested. Let's have ourselves a nice Tuesday night, loaded baseball night. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.